Hello, what's up, everybody?
Here we are.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And there goes Craig.
Greg's having, there he goes. He's back.
There we go.
What's happening, everyone?
Everyone being, I see Ken and Holland in the chat out there. But they're rolling in here slowly but surely.
It's probably a busy night.
It's Friday, man.
I have to guess.
But, yeah, man, everybody doing all right?
Yeah. Pretty tired still, but I don't know, man. It's been a slow. I mean, every January is slow, every February is kind of slow, but I feel like it's been super slow this year. I mean, I don't know what you guys have been getting in, but I haven't even had anything that I wanted to order recently.
I got a couple things, but nothing major.
Panic Room, Uncle Buck. Those were two definite one lists.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Uncle Buck. I got Summer Rental coming. Big fan of Summer Rental. Another great John Candy flick.
Yeah, about time we got that on Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
How does Summer Rental compare to Great Outdoors? Because I've never seen it.
They're pretty close for me. I think I like Great Outdoors a little better, but Summer Rental's pretty close.
Me too.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get a 4K Great Outdoors. I am sure we will at some point.
Was that Paramount?
It's a Universal.
Universal. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it sucks. I think that Summer Rental's only a Blu-ray. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, tonight we got Craig here, so we're gonna talk about Scream.
Yeah. Well, Craig and Tommy.
Inevitable.
We like to put it on Craig, but Craig and Tommy. I mean, if you bring up Scream,
yeah, Craig's the one we got to keep on a leash.
It's going to come up.
I hate that franchise.
Well, there's been rampant news about it. I'm sure we'll get into it later, but
yeah,
at some point. But I don't know. I just I'm a little. I guess last year around this time we had a ton of like Second Sight announcements, stuff that was coming out, and all this stuff that was already being released from them. And now it's like, has anybody heard what the? I mean, is there? I heard those Cronenberg movies are coming from Second Sight that we already have 4Ks from two other companies.
Scanners, right? That's coming.
Scanners and I don't know, maybe it was just Scanners. I don't really know. The Brood 4K.
Yeah, the Brood. Right.
I think that's the first time to 4K.
Scanners has been on 4K before.
Yeah, the Criterion has it.
Oh, okay.
I believe so, at least.
Yeah, I definitely want to pick up that Second Sight of Scanners for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, the Brood, that's an interesting one to see in 4K with all those practical demon, minion, kids, whatever.
Never seen it. I might pick that one up too.
Yeah.
You guys seen any big movies out there now in the last couple of weeks? Y'all seen anything new?
I know Steve just saw something new.
What'd you see, Steve?
I've seen a couple of things, but nothing really great. I seen The Monkey today, and then I seen that Becoming Led Zeppelin before that, and then I seen that piece of shit Hard Eyes movie.
It's not good. Right?
Hard Eyes. It was what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't. It's not one that it's going to be a franchise. I hope.
Yeah.
But
last one I saw in the theaters was Anora.
Oh, you saw Anora in the theaters? Where? Well, I didn't even know that was in the theaters.
Yeah.
The porno. it's pretty
At
much.
least I got busted falling asleep jerking off at that one.
Yeah, I'm sure that's right. Man, that's all I heard about that movie. Like, a couple people, which I know Steve mentioned it, and I liked the Florida Project a lot. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch this, and it seemed like it had like some kind of dark twist to it from the cover art that I was seeing and stuff. And I watched it, and it was just, I'm old. I'm an old man because I watched this thing and I was like, Jesus Christ, are these kids gonna die or something? Please do something here. They were so annoying, and I don't know. Maybe that's just me, the Borat kid, whatever his deal was, and he goes to pieces over anything. I don't know. That was just not for me. I hear people talking about it like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. Steve didn't say that, but I mean, there's people out there going insane for Anora. What did you think of it, Craig?
It definitely kept my attention the whole time, just because you're wondering. Well, I mean,
there's 35 sex scenes in the movie.
Well, Craig's in love with Mikey Madison, so I think that's why he wouldn't.
There you
see
go.
I do love Mikey Madison. I'm not in love with my encounter with her in person. We'll get into that later when we talk about Scream actors. But she was very good in the movie for sure. But it's definitely one of those movies that holds your attention because you're like, okay, where is this going? Because then it just like it keeps progressing more and more and more. You're like, where are they taking this? You know, like after they establish, okay, she's a stripper, she hooks up with this dude, and now what happens? And it's like an event. It's almost like you just follow this adventure throughout the entire night of where they go, and one dude disappears. They're trying to find him the whole night and stuff like that. It's hard to explain without spoiling it, but it definitely keeps you locked in.
Yeah. It's just maybe the payoff wasn't there for me. I was expecting something a little bit more. And the Florida Project ends in this weird kind of, I don't know if you even call it ambiguous type ending with the kids and everything. And that was just, I don't know. It was really like, I mean, it's very female oriented too, even with all the sex scenes. So maybe it's just, again, an old man, not for me.
Well, going back to Hard Eyes, when it first started, the opening scene of Hard Eyes, I was like, hang on, this might be all right. You know, it was great. And then it kind of was, I knew it was going to be kind of romance involved, horror, whatever. But I'd say it was probably about 80% romance, 20% horror. And I was hoping for more little in the middle there. I had a good time with it. It's okay. I think on a second watch, knowing what I'm going into, if I watch it with a wife or whatever, I think it'll be better. I went into it hoping it was going to be the next slasher franchise. Definitely not that. Like I said, it's its own thing. It's a romance horror movie with 80% romance, 20% horror. But the opening scene's good and the ending's pretty good. In the middle, it gets a little too squishy for me. But that's my thoughts on Hard Eyes.
I thought it was going to be the next, what's the one with the, goddamn, Scream Factory has it. With
Valentine?
the cute killer. I thought it was going to be the next Valentine.
Yeah,
And
that's
your
what I was
Valentine,
hoping
does it have a
I
sequel?
was hoping for.
Does Valentine even have sequels?
No.
for. No,
That's
I'm not
amazing
sure.
that they didn't go, because I know it leaves, it's open-ended,
Yeah.
you know, so I'm
I
surprised.
just don't think it did real well when it came out. I think it was kind of a bust and never caught on.
Yeah.
I'm seeing artards now saying like it's better than My Bloody Valentine.
No.
Like,
It's actually pretty tame. I mean, I liked it. I still like it, but it's very tame. From what I remember, I was like, oh man, this is like it's like urban legend, you know, but Valentine's Day. And I rewatched it not too long ago, maybe last year, and I was like, man, this is not gory at all, like I thought it was. And I don't know, I felt really tame, but it's still a good story and everything. But no, I don't think it's as good as My Bloody Valentine or half it. I'd rather watch Hellraiser on Valentine's Day than that. But I did see Wolves again. As I think Alan's seen it. Have any of you guys seen Wolves? It's Brad
Clooney.
Pitt and George Clooney. They
Oh, yeah.
play,
Yeah.
they play fixers. You know, like there's a dead body, they got to go clean it up, kind of thing.
Yeah. Think Mr. Wolf in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, the wolf from Pulp Fiction. I'm sure that's what it's named after. So they play it together, and it's like a buddy movie for them. I mean, they're friends in real life. So it's actually a pretty fun movie. It's not the
Who's
greatest
in it?
movie. It's Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
Oh,
And they're both
I
playing
haven't even
that.
heard of it.
They're,
I think it's
they're
an Apple TV exclusive. I
Apple
think.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
I'll watch
feels
that.
like a Safdie Brothers movie, kind of. You know, it has that kind of weird anxiety type thing to it, and it's a New York movie. But it's pretty good, especially if you have Apple TV and you can watch it cheap. But it's nothing great. But I watched that again. I like the banter between them throughout the movie. And I saw The Monkey. I saw The Monkey today.
Somebody tell me that was good. Somebody say it, please.
I can't tell you that.
It's not good. Damn.
It's
That's
not
really bad. Listen, Steve saw it. Listen to him. Listen to your friend here. I'm just saying, I would not go out and make a day of going and see it, in my opinion.
Tommy, Brad also said the guest isn't good, but we know how we feel about
You're
the
right.
guest.
You're right.
Good point there, Craig.
It's a fair point.
I don't know.
Oh.
Monkey it was just one of the new horror movies to come out that I was kind of excited about.
Yeah, I was very excited about it. I went opening day to see it. I mean, Steve, what did you think? I mean, obviously, we're not going to spoil anything. It's brand new, but
I thought it was fun. It wasn't good. I was definitely deflated, but I was expecting a lot more than what I got, and that's to be expected. Anytime that like one of my like new favorite like directors is putting something out, like I get pretty stoked about it.
Yeah.
But it's worth checking out. It's almost more of a comedy than it is a horror movie.
That's
I don't know what it is. It's like a Jordan Peele story. You know, it's like I mean, it's better than any Jordan Peele movie. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying it feels like that kind of weird Jordan Peele type thing, like I don't know, ripping off Tarantino type dialogue that just didn't work. And there's like it's like Final Destination, kind of. You know,
Okay.
Final Destination meets Jumanji in some kind of weird way. I don't know, like I
It's
can't.
based on a Stephen King short story, right?
Yeah, you know,
So,
you can definitely.
I should
feel
buy it. I should definitely buy it, stick it on the shelf, and never think about it again.
Well, I mean,
There you
Steve
go.
touched on it.
That's what I do with 90% of my movies.
Yeah, who watches those anyway? But Steve kind of touched on it. It's Osgood Perkins. It's his new movie, and me and Steve were huge fans of Long Legs. And then coming off Long Legs to this is like heavy CGI. It's all it kind of Blumhouse. I don't know. I don't have anything really good to say about it. There was times in the theater where I was just like, all right, if this doesn't do, and the trailer again, like I said, people may like it. It's just not my type of thing because it's very much like coming of age. I don't like coming of age stuff, and there's a lot of that in it. It felt like Final Destination meets It Chapter 1, like the remake, kind of. With again, like I said, Jumanji is the closest thing I could think of. I don't know, Oddity, maybe a little bit, but all those movies are better than Monkey to me. That's like I said, I wanted to like it. We're really excited to see it. It just didn't. And like I said, like Steve said, maybe it was just I thought it was going to be here, and it's way down here, and it's still people will have fun with it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out.
You know, speaking of Final Destination, you guys all see the teaser trailer for that?
Yeah.
I think it looked really good with the.
I actually have not seen it. I'll watch
it
that.
looks-
I love every single one of those movies. I know after like 2, it gets dumb, but I just pretty much like go to these movies just for the kills.
Yeah, it kind of like the Saw franchise. You go,
Yeah, exactly.
Kills, same thing.
They're all fun. I love every one of them. They're great, fun, entertaining movies, and I'm really excited for this new one. I mean, the teaser was like, damn.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, you got to check it out, Alan. But yeah, it's got me excited because it's been so long since we've had a Final Destination movie. So I'm excited for the new one.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
definitely check it
there's
out.
a lot of stuff. To be fair, again, that Monkey, what is this, February? You know, they don't put their Ace stuff out in February. We probably should have included in a little bit about that. And he made 2 movies last year at the same time. He had to get Long Legs and then this out right after it. So
Yeah.
they couldn't have both had his attention.
So it's the same guy that did Long Legs, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
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 Anthony Perkins' son.
Okay.
Anthony Perkins' son.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Let's see what we got out there in the chat. What's up, Ken? What's
Hey,
up,
Ken.
Say, boys, just got in my Arrow Cruising and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Yeah, I'm gonna skip Cruising, and I already got a nice TCM2 release from Vinegar Syndrome. I don't need to double dip on that, but good look release.
I wonder if they did their own scan for TCM2.
I don't know.
I heard there was a glitch in the 4K.
Well, naturally. They actually got to have a problem. But yeah, I don't know. That
What's up,
Vinegar
Holland?
Syndrome release is great.
Hey, Holland.
We already
What's
got
up,
that. Shit.
So, speaking of gangster, check out the new shirt. My wife's like, "You got to stop buying these shirts." Because it's about to fucking bust all these stupid ass shirts.
We need a separate house for your movie shoots.
He was more badass in Casino, though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But the thing that's really like not aged well for me with Goodfellas is he's playing like 28 or something like that
Mhm.
when he's 49 years old. They're like, in high definition, it doesn't help because they spray painted his hair and stuff, and they pulled his skin and stuff to make him try to look younger. Like, okay,
That's one thing I find hilarious about 4K sometimes is that you start seeing the flaws that we didn't see years ago in like
Yeah.
VHS and DVD.
It's man, and I'm telling you, man, I love Goodfellas. I still do, but
I
every rewatch it goes down and Casino just goes up for me. I just Casino it's just a bigger budget. It's just I don't know.
Casino is fantastic.
It's so portable.
A movie that stands out to me is True Lies. It is so funny when
Oh, yeah.
Schwarzenegger
It's double.
when he's riding around on the horse, like his stunt double.
Yeah,
Like,
so obvious.
It makes you feel like they did not give a shit. Like they didn't even try
Yeah.
to hide the fact that there's a stunt double there. Like, and in 4K, it's hilarious. Like, oh my god, it's like it
It's
is
a
so
little guy.
obviously not Schwarzenegger.
I mean, it's funny you said that. Me and the wife just watched that 2 nights ago, and I had to go back and pause it because it was so obvious when it came through. I've never really noticed it before. I thought, oh
Yeah.
my god, look at that! That's terrible.
I know, it's funny. Cause we didn't see that back in the day.
And
Yeah.
his,
You know?
one of his best friends has been a stunt double for him for decades. They could have just used him, and it looks a lot like him. They could have just used him. No, we'll get just some random little guy, like little Native American guy.
Pretty sure they used Peter Kent in like the 90s. Like he did all like the T2 shit.
Yeah,
Like back in like the T2 4K, and they like superimposed Arnold's face over a lot of those shots.
Just talking.
Yeah.
What's that?
Hold on, Sidney. Hey, Alan, what's up there?
hey,
Well,
Allie, what's up?
Allie.
I was saying hey to everybody. Everybody saying hey. Sidney says the accountant too. Ben Affleck, John Bernthal, April 2025. Yes, sir.
I'm a
I've
big
never
fan
seen
of
the first one, but I heard the first one's cool.
Oh, you'd like it, man.
That was
It's
awesome.
good.
Man.
It looks good on the shelf.
Magic Hands, what's going on, buddy?
well, hola.
Uzi Suicide. Wolves came and went in theaters, bombed hard. Yeah, it was a streaming movie. I didn't think it would do good in theaters, but it was a fun watch.
I didn't even think it was in the theater, but yeah.
It was a very
Screen
limited
Factory put it
run.
out in a year on 4K.
In my theater for like a week.
Kansas Hey Pop, did you pre-order? You know I pre-ordered the East West Steelbooks. Yeah, I pre-ordered. I got them ordered off Groove. So, that's coming now. Cindy says, question: law-abiding citizen Gerard Butler, Jamie Foxx. Were you all disappointed with the ending on how it turned out that the villain Butler was to win instead of Fox?
I love the movie. I thought
Great movie.
Yeah,
the ending didn't really disappoint me at all. I mean, I love the movie from start to finish. I mean, the vigilante usually never wins.
He always gets it at the end.
It's one of
usually.
those titles that Craig introduced to me when he was here.
That's another movie that, like, from start to finish, I was locked in until the very last shot of the movie. I'm like, oh my god,
Great movie. Great movie.
What's up, Chris?
Hey, Chris.
What up?
Yeah, it looks good on the shelf. Yeah. Dodger, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Dodger?
Oh, boys, Tom, if your shadow gets annoying, just say a safe word and I will rescue you.
Yeah, speaking of which, he's had a little channel that he does things every now and then, and lately he's been doing a lot of like horror stuff down here with me. So he told me to tell you guys all to go look at his channel.
We got
Oh,
it
yeah.
all. Everybody go subscribe to Dodger's channel.
Let's get him to 1,000 tonight.
Yes.
Get monetized, Tom. He ain't got to work no more. I was looking forward to seeing Wolves in theaters, but I believe it went straight to Apple TV Plus, which I don't have. I think it was only in theaters literally for like a week, maybe, and then it went to Apple TV. And I think it was a limited run too.
I streamed it, and it like I said, it's nothing great. It's just Ocean's 11 kind of banter between the guys back and
If
forth.
you're a fan of those two actors, I think they play well off each other. You know, there's some fun times to be
They're
had.
just having a good time. That's really what it is.
That's all it is. I'll say hey to Dodger. Sydney says, name some movies that has the best and worst endings. Best ending is going to be The Mist. I think the ending of The Mist is classic. You don't get that kind of shit too often. Worst endings.
Kill Bill 2, worst ending. But for me,
I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I feel what you're saying, but I don't know. I kind of like it.
I like Kill Bill 2. I think it's the superior of the two for sure. Some of the best stuff, but it's like there's all this badass shit, and then that end, it's like an hour of her driving the car. She goes out and talks to Michael Parks. and then she goes and has a big dialogue with David Carradine, and then they have a 18-second fight.
The original Jurassic Park had a great ending. That climax with the raptors and the T-Rex.
Yeah.
I would also say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has a great ending.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
great. Beautiful ending.
It's such a to me, it's such a great ending. Is it like that movie was tough for me to get through, and then the ending totally redeemed everything I had a problem with before that.
It does go kind of slow, but like that's another one where you're just kind of locked in, like seeing what Rick Dalton's going to do for his career. You're like, all right, what's he got to do now? But I liked it.
Yeah.
Worst endings. Oh man, I'm sure there's a fucking ton of them. I'll think of. So I got to get done with this fucking stream. I'll think of 12.
I'm trying to think of one right now.
Think of 100. Oh man, I don't know. Those are the ones that come to mind.
The Crying Game.
What's his name? The Crying Game. Come on.
Scream 3 was a terrible ending.
We'll circle back to it if you come up.
Y'all
with
throw
one.
somebody there in the chat. Whatever, help me out. I'm sure there's a ton of them. I'm gonna hear one again. Oh fuck! I should have said that. Slackwolf Vampiro. Tommy and Craig, I'm jealous of your relationship. I want to go to the back of the house too.
Oh, it's great.
It's getting harder to go to around the back of the house because then we have to stop and catch our breaths halfway.
I'm excited though, actually, because in just a couple weeks, I'll be heading back to Philly to see Craig again, and I get to go around the back of his new house. So awesome!
Yeah.
Can't wait to see back there.
All right, the wrong channel.
Jared comes in. What's going on?
Now, come on, Jed, that's the best ending.
You guys know that wasn't Stephen King's original ending.
But he loved it though. He loved it.
Yep. And I also heard that I think I mentioned this before, but Tom Jane, they wanted to switch it back and not do this ending, and Tom Jane fought for it. He said, "You have to do this. It's like it's going to be so shocking to everybody. You have to keep this ending."
The ending for Boogie Nights. Am I the only guy that's married and watches that with his wife and has to let her know before it comes out? That's a prosthetic. It ain't real.
Yeah. That should have been on. I feel like that could have been at least a Scorsese movie, Boogie Nights. It's perfect the way it is. Don't get me wrong.
What a great fucking
But
movie.
it's Scorsese loves to do a drug, rise and fall story, and especially he got into his pervert years a little later with The Wolf of Wall Street. But
It feels
could
like
be,
a Scorsese flick.
yeah, that style. But the humor is better the way it is for sure. I don't think Scorsese could have done that humor.
John C. Reilly and Marky Mark did a fantastic job.
Somehow they're great together, and they're really, really funny together. And
Oh, yeah.
Mark Wahlberg is not known for anything other than like his crazy hatred for Chinese people, apparently, but from back in the day. But somehow he's hilarious in that movie. Maybe he's playing it straight.
Trying to buy the same clothes and the motherfucker never fits.
Yeah,
really hanging out.
He'll be more often funny in it too. Yeah,
Anybody see Flight Risk?
Not
I did
yet.
not see it.
Boy, I've been hearing some crappy reviews on that.
I'm not hearing. I think Mel Gibson owed somebody a movie.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, we'll just do this. That's fine. This is good over with.
Mike says Arrow's TCM2 4K is usually the same transfer as VS. Okay.
Well, I mean, then why? I don't know how you're going to do any better than that VS.
Oh, I know. I mean, I think even the art on the Vinegar Syndrome is better.
Yeah.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up?
Hey, Mom and Dad, what's up?
Yeah, I played my son y'all's video where he said that the Pops Movie Dungeon was his favorite channel. You got a kick out of that.
You better not wreck my favorite channel, you fat ass. Pop's Movie Dungeon's giving it good views.
You made a spoof, Alan.
Yeah, I've done it big leagues. Y'all need a pilot?
Y'all need a pilot.
Y'all seen the slipcover for that physical media release?
Yeah.
Slipcover, I think, is like his bald, something with his bald head.
Oh, the hair, yeah.
Hair.
People are
It
putting
doesn't even look like we're getting a standard 4K. That looks like it's just a steelbook.
Well, I would love for Lionsgate to do the Scream 4 4K, like have the ghost face mask and have it under it be Jill Roberts or what's her name, Emma Roberts underneath.
Yeah, we'll spoil the whole goddamn movie.
And put a spoiler on the fucking stuff. That'd be great.
Something I'm sure that's coming. That's the last one that doesn't have a 4K.
And it's the only one that's made by Lionsgate.
Yeah.
Name some movies that uses the best firearms, Greg.
Come on.
Jurassic Park, Terminator, Predator,
Aliens.
Scarface.
I love that rifle on Aliens.
Man,
I just named all the movie guns I have. I'm just like,
yeah. T1 was a big one. That's like almost a gun movie. But Way of the Gun too.
Yeah, Way of the Gun.
Really I like it a little more grounded. And Heat up for the time. Very 90s.
One of the best shootouts in cinema.
Very 90s centric.
The two movies that has the best sound effect for guns is 48 Hours. When Nick Nolte shoots that gun in that opening shot in the hotel, that gun sounds fantastic. And fucking Indiana Jones. The way his gun sounds in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he's shooting his gun, sounds fantastic. I'm not a gun guy, but I enjoy the shit out of those.
Yeah.
I love how quiet they make guns in movies with silencers.
Oh, great. Click, click, click.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that's not what a silencer sounds like.
If you could get it that quiet, which you couldn't, the suppressor would be like this. I mean, it would be like a Jersey Mike's sub.
There's still a bang.
And there would still be a concussion regardless. But these little, like John Wick 2 is the great example where they're in that like train station shooting at each other with suppressors that are this long and nobody notices. It would be insanely loud. I mean, you wouldn't need ear protection per se, but it would be very loud, especially in a confined space like that. But I don't know, just little things like that. But there's a million of them. I mean, frankly,
Jurassic Park has the best scene of the Spaz 12 unfolding the stock. Like, it's unbelievable. That's the only reason I bought that shotgun is because of that movie.
Yeah. Very famous movie gun. Been in a million movies.
Predator and Scarface using the same prop.
But there's like I always say Way of the Gun because there's a shitload of reloading and magazines around. They're always like there's scenes where they're just reloading magazines in a hotel room. Where you never see that.
Cool guns.
Ever. You got to have, I mean, for these shootouts that they have to have like 70 fucking magazines. And they really have all those magazines.
Saving Private Ryan, they got all the guns down to a T too. Just very accurate historically.
There's a million. I mean, we just go on and on. There's a million of them. Yeah. I also like movies with weird guns, like Blue Ruin. That's an underrated gun movie because it's all like cheap gun show crap. Like weird
cricket and MIB.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all I got to throw over the gun conversation.
Yeah.
You don't know shit about guns.
Die Hard and Lethal Weapon using the Beretta 92, just making it famous.
Every Die Hard, or every Lethal Weapon. I mean, he gets a new Beretta 92.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you got the 90s phase where everybody's shooting sideways.
Yeah.
I watched Copycat the other night, and there's one shot at the end of some scene where Holly Hunter just turns her gun sideways and shoots it one time. It's like, come on, really?
There's a lot of that, like back in the day, like Predator. In Predator, there's maybe one sequence where somebody shoulders a rifle, and it's Arnold shooting a grenade launcher. But it's like the rest of the time they're just all doing. These are supposed to be like the best of the best, like Navy SEALs or whatever, and they're like shooting their guns from the hip. Like they totally teach you that in the military. It was just to look cool. I mean, I get it, but
there's probably not much training on carrying around a fucking Gatling gun.
Well, that one, but I mean, Arnold's got like literally just like an M16, and instead of shouldering it, he's got it at his waist, just shooting at people, just standing in a square shooting at people.
His pecs got to flex when he's shooting the gun. You got to be able to see that well.
Perfect.
Because it's cooler looking. That's
it's got to look cool. Yeah.
By the way, Sydney, great question, man. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Hello guys, good to see y'all again. Love these live streams. They're fun, interesting and fun, man. I appreciate you watching, buddy.
Yeah, they're all over the place. We haven't live streamed in a long time.
This is generally a bullshit stream. We have got no plot. We have no ideas. I have like 4 fucking titles to show. I mean, there's nothing like that. This is just a simply answering questions and shooting the breeze for a couple hours.
I just literally got back from Japan this week, so I haven't got anything. I got one title in from Japan. Yeah, Japan.
Does this mean no Japan?
And the one title I got, I'll probably show it on the stream at some point as a gift for Johnny. So it's not even like I got myself anything.
Yeah.
Patriots
Somebody
Day.
called you Godzilla while you were there?
No, man. Some people thought I was Godzilla, but other than that, no.
You had to be a foot taller than everybody else there.
Yeah, basically, and they do stare, and you know, I've talked to people about it, like, yeah, they stare and everything. I was like, yeah, especially the to be fair, the women, they do stare, but it's more like, it's not like, oh my God, that guy's so attractive, which, I mean, clearly that's the case, but that's not really what it is. I was telling my brother-in-law this. I was like, I don't know how many times they've seen a 300-pound beards are not a thing over there. You never see anybody with a beard. A 300-pound white guy with a full beard and a T-shirt with a machine gun on it, just wandering around their village in some random Tokyo suburb. So yeah, they're staring because it's weird. It'd be like a sumo wrestler just walking into McDonald's in your.
I was been holding an American flag.
Yeah, waving an American flag around
with a machine gun on his shirt. Jim, what's up, Jim? Patriots Day is a good Wahlberg movie. It is.
It's underrated too.
I enjoyed that one for sure.
And the fucking oil drilling tanker movie. What's that called? Came out right after Patriots Day, right before.
Like something Horizon.
Deepwater Horizon.
Yeah,
that was decent.
Same director.
That one I didn't see.
Peter Berg. They did Patriots Day, that one, and there was one other they did together.
Lone Survivor.
And if anybody don't know, Peter Berg was that fucking non-acting motherfucker from fucking Shocker.
He's a terrible actor.
He's a great director. He's a shitty actor.
He's a very good director.
Yeah. I do love Shocker though. Slackwolf, have any of you watched Tenebrae?
Sure.
Wait a minute.
I've seen it.
One of the better Argentos for sure.
Cindy says, Pops, I know you love both of these two movies, but if you really had to choose one, which would it be? Jaws first one or Rocky first one? Dude, I just watched Rocky 2 30 minutes ago. But tonight I'm going to say Rocky. If I watch Jaws on next Tuesday, SB on Wednesday, it'll be Jaws.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Overall, pound for pound, it's probably going to be Rocky, man. We watched Rocky 2 tonight, man. That'll get you goddamn gizzard thumping. It's good as fuck. A movie that I told my son that tonight. A movie I've seen that many times from the fucking 70s that still gives you fucking chill bumps when Adrian says win. I don't give a fuck when nobody says like it or love it. You got to appreciate that.
I still think
What are we waiting for?
I got to say Rocky, dude.
Mickey is a lot better in part 2.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Mickey doesn't really come in like full force until the later part of Rocky 1, but he's so much better in 2. He's just not having any of his shit the whole time. He's you go back here. He tries to hand him the spit bucket. Go back to doing what you were doing before, because you're a lot better at this than fighting now.
When Rocky comes to see him at his house, whatever, tells him he wants him to train him, whatever, he's telling him he's fucking blind, he can't do it, and he's slapping him. And that's a great scene, dude.
Yeah.
Great scene. I love it. Yeah, it's Rocky, man. It's Rocky. I love Jaws, but it's Rocky. Slackwolf, Tommy, did you watch Hard Eyes and Tenebrae? Is good. Tommy and Craig, I definitely recommend Tenebrae and New York Ripper.
As far as Tenebrae goes, I have it, and I've never really been into Argento films, but Tenebrae is actually one that I keep meaning to watch. Isn't that the one that's like a movie within a movie or something, or somebody's making a movie, but then people are really dying or something? Or
no,
that's all of his movies.
Isn't that what Tenebrae is?
To a point, it's an actor. It's an actor that's kind of being accosted by this killer, and people are dying around him, and so yeah, kind of. They're all similar. All Argento movies are kind of similar, but Tenebrae, Opera, these are the premium, in my opinion.
That's just one that has stood out to me as far as one that I wanted to see. So I have to get around to watching that one.
Some of his movies, it's a lot less weird. It's a lot more linear and straightforward, like a slasher, as opposed to like Phenomena that's like
bonkers
weird. Well, there's insects and all this other.
It's just not my jam, dude. It's not my jam. I've watched them all, and it's just not my shit. But I appreciate why people are big fans of them. It's just not for me.
There's nothing supernatural about it, I guess, is what I'm saying. That's why I like it a little more.
And no, I did not see Hard Eyes yet.
The New England Boxing Network. Rocky is my favorite movie character ever, and the Rocky franchise is my favorite ever. We're best friends now.
I was actually in Japan. Well, I was actually in Japan looking for. I go to these movie stores when I'm there, and I look around for, kind of the releases like that are very Japanese, something Alan doesn't have, or Johnny or Steve or any of these guys. Like if I saw like a Scream 4K that had really weird Japanese artwork, I'd pick it up and send it to Craig and whatever. And I just, for whatever reason, I have a hard time finding certain movies there. And I saw the first copy of Jaws I'd ever seen in Japan. I pulled it out. It was just like the most generic fucking artwork ever. And I'm like, I'm not getting this. And Rocky was the same thing. It was Jaws and Rocky were actually close to each other. And it was all the Jaws movies on Blu-ray and all the Rocky movies on Blu-ray. And they just had really like generic artwork, so I didn't pick them up. But I picked up one that's really cool that I'm going to send to Johnny. But it's just tough. It's tough over there. They explain some of it to me. It's hard to kind of get through there's like this thing where they have like a show face is the word I think they use, but there's obviously a Japanese word for it. It's hard to get through that and talk to the real person. So once they find out the PM freaks, they could see that I was similarly afflicted, and I was able to get through to some of them. But like this one movie I'll show. Well, just go ahead and put me on full screen. I'll show it now. But the certain movies over there are like taboo, like anything with cannibalism. So I found exactly one copy of this movie, and I snagged it and gave it to Johnny because it's his all-time favorite movie. But it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Japanese version.
That's pretty bad.
I'd never seen that artwork before anywhere, and but yeah, anything with cannibalism, that's very taboo. And the guy behind the counter, I'm talking to through Google Translate. He said most people are confused by the story because they believe Sally is Leatherface's sister. The way the translation is, like, if you think on those terms and you watch it, thinking back the dinner scene and all that, it's like, why are they going to eat their sister? Like, it doesn't make sense. It does, so some of it doesn't make sense. It doesn't translate. And of course, there's cannibalism in it, and that's very taboo in Japan. So
you can't eat your own sister. That's like drinking your own pee or something.
Yeah, exactly. She's your sister. But
there's something wrong about that.
I'll send that to John for a chance to get.
Can't eat your own family. Come on.
Let's go look at artwork, man.
Yeah,
well, that's my favorite scene in the whole fucking movie. Probably everybody else's too.
Yeah, like I said, how hard is that? I thought they did a really good job of that. So.
Yep. Cindy said movie recommendations. Eve's Bayou '97. I think I might have seen that. Drama mystery directed by Cassie Lemon, Samuel Jackson, Megan Good, Journey Smollett, and Secrets, Lies, and Death. 3.5 out of 5.
Does it come with a slip?
Because we ain't gonna watch it if it doesn't.
Journey Smollett, is that Juicy Smollett's sister?
No, I'm pretty sure I've seen that though. I'd have to look up the trailer. Pretty sure I've seen it. So, Tony Slightwell says, by the way, if I was to go to Japan, I'd want to find a Japanese girlfriend, maybe a wife. How about you guys? Japanese girls are the cutest.
No, none of them hold a candle to my girl.
Go to Latin America.
They all look like, I don't know. They all look the same. This sounds really racist, but they all look the same to me. They all dress the same. And I don't know. It's just weird, very weird to be over there.
And just want to give them a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I got me a country girl from Backwoods, South Georgia.
I think we're all good.
Jim Harwood, anyone getting the new deluxe UK chunky box set of Lethal Weapon? I've already pre-ordered it. I'm currently on pre-order. Apparently, Orbit says it's about to sell out. Yeah, I've already pre-ordered it.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Shortlist, and I wish it was the whole fucking series, but I'll take part one.
Yeah, we talked about this, and Alan's like, you know what? I don't need that. I'm not going to order it. I don't think I'm going to order that. And famous last words.
Yeah, I was going to order that.
We'll get a U.S. copy of that.
And there's going to be a new one. Mel Gibson's directing the new one. That's the worst part about it. If it still goes, he's working on some other thing. I think I heard.
Danny Glover's like fucking 80.
Yeah, they have to have a lot of time in the car scenes and sitting behind the desk scenes.
He really is too old for this shit.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll come up somewhere. That line will come up somewhere. Also, does it come with a slip? Yeah. That's the most important question.
Yeah. What are you
He
gonna do?
doesn't
About
play without it.
it?
I've tried. It just doesn't work.
Well, of course, I think Columbia has the prettiest. If I had to guess,
They're all nice ladies down there.
all right, we're called a
No, like you could be as fat as me and go down to South America. And that's where they got this true story. We were walking through one of the towns of Ecuador when there was like all like the nightlife going on. We walked past this bar with like all this dance music and lights. And I walked past and there's like 5 gorgeous Latinas dancing. And then they see me and go, "Ooh, Americano."
Yeah.
It's like, yes. And Monica's like, keep walking, keep walking.
Yeah, That's one thing I like.
Americano.
I think they knew I was American because I was fat. That's probably why.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. They're like he's either British or American, but going by the waistline,
Yeah.
probably American.
Yeah, he's all racist cups.
Grande Americano.
Grande.
Wait, you go to Japan. Japan, I don't think has that. I mean, it's not like I even looked for it, but I don't think Japan. They're very, very uptight and introverted. I don't see them doing any of that kind of. It's not like Thailand or whatever. When you go to Thailand, everybody knows you're going to Thailand to do one thing or whatever, some sort of hedonistic thing. Japan's not like that. You're going to eat some ramen. You're going to ride the trains. You're going to wander around. And I'm the only one there eating ramen with a fork. That's a big turnoff for these people.
Do you guys bring your slipcovers to bed?
Yeah, I have. I took 100 slipcovers. I taped them all together, and it's like a big giant blanket.
It's like one of those body pillows, just the slip
Yeah.
cover.
What is the most stressful movie scene you've ever seen? The ending of Arachnophobia when fucking Jeff Daniels is laying there and the fucking spider's touching the skin and he freezes up and you're like, just get the motherfucker off of you.
Oh my
When he freezes
god.
up. That's not the most ever. That's the first thing that popped in my head. I'm sure there's 10,000 other better than that. But
The bidding scene from Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
a lot of things from Uncut Gems. He just does all kinds
That
of
movie,
stuff.
the whole movie, yeah.
Yeah, that gives a lot of anxiety. The cave scene in The Descent.
Oh yeah, the scene I'm thinking of in The Descent is when she thinks she's getting stuck.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that fucks with me every time, dude. That's worse than fucking monsters.
Stop going down there. People stop going down in these caves.
Yeah.
This never works out. Somebody always ends up face down, upside down, stuck, and they have to spend 3 days dying there.
It's just
terrible.
uncomfortable to watch.
You guys ever see Buried with Ryan Reynolds?
Yes, I have.
Oh my God, the ending of that movie when you think that like the sand's filling up and you think he's about to be saved.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, that is so stressful.
What's the name? Something Sky, the Alien movie from the 90s.
Skyline?
No, shit.
Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky. That the abduction scene.
Oh my
You know,
God.
putting that fucking thing over his face and putting a big gob of grease down his throat and all that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie scared the living shit out of me as a kid. Like, when I think back to scary movies as a kid, it's not like what you would think. It's not like Exorcist or Jason or something. It's 2 movies. It's Fire in the Sky and Legend. And Legend's not even a horror movie. Legend, just because that fucking Lord of Darkness, Tim Curry, scared the shit out of me as a kid. And so those 2 movies, those are my childhood scary movies that scared the shit out of me, is those 2.
I've always heard people say the ending of Silence of the Lambs in the basement, is one. I really, it's maybe stressful for other people, but like the end of Captain Phillips when he's on that life raft. And,
God, yeah.
Dude, when Tom Hanks gets back on the fucking boat and gets rescued, the best acting that motherfucker's ever
he
done.
really did do a good job. He was
Yeah,
very,
that's the best acting I've ever seen, dude.
Totally agree, man.
Yeah, good movie.
Such a good movie.
That might be a good top 5 idea. Most 5 most stressful scenes. That could be a top 5. Throw it in the back pocket.
Greg, it's just all things where people get stuck in stuff. Craig every time.
We'll have to get Sydney out of hiding. Maybe Sydney can join us for one of those.
Yeah.
That'd be a good time. No, we need his ass in the chat asking questions. That's what we do. Michael says Mel was at a comic signing all something and saying it's not happening anymore, but the best script out of them all.
Oh, okay. I like the fourth one that they did too.
Yeah, I like all of them, and they're all great. They're all great. Just curious, do y'all pretty much have the same taste in movies? What is each of your number one favorites? I mean, mine's obviously Rocky. I already said that. Everybody knows that. But I think we're pretty close. I think you know, for the most part.
Some things.
It's all over the place. I mean, really. I mean, there's told.
Yeah, we probably all got a lot of the same top 20. I would say we probably got at least 5 or 6 of the same movies in the top 20.
Well, it's like Tommy's number one wouldn't be in any of our top 20. You know, but it's
nobody's even heard of mine.
It's a nostalgia pick. You know, The Wraith, I believe, is your number one. It's a good movie, but it's a very nostalgic movie for you for obvious reasons. Nostalgia plays into it, and that can totally make anybody's list weird and obscure.
Did the writer of that movie have a lisp, and the studio head was like, "Hey, yeah, that sounds like a great title, The Wraith."
I know, right? I remember when I was a kid, I didn't even understand how to even pronounce it or what it even meant. I used to think like, because the movie is about, you know, cars racing and stuff, you know. So when I was a kid, I used to call it The Race, like, because I thought that's what it meant. Like, it's about a race. It's like called a race until I grew up and realized that wraith means ghost or whatever. Yeah. So like, does he have a list?
Steve's number one is a tie with all 3 Jordan Peele movies. So, you know, that's on none of our top 20s.
It's pretty hard.
Oh, that was a stressful scene in Nope when they all get sucked up into the spaceship. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Steve's just like, sure. Sure. I'll take it. Whatever. I don't care. What would you say your number one is? Was it like The Shining, you know, Christine, what? American Werewolf?
I don't know. Like the one that I probably watched the most and dissected the most would probably be The Shining.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like my favorites go in and out.
Yeah.
They'll always be.
I would say it's never one answer. It's any of these 5 could be number one.
Yeah.
Steve, who let Jack out of the pantry? Was it Danny or was it ghosts?
I always thought it was ghosts.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be ambiguous. Because if it was
the
Danny,
scene with like the bear, the dude dressed in the bear costume, like what the hell?
Should that be our next spoof cover? Jess comes down the hall and it zooms in on her face real quick and it sees us. Instead of a knife, she's holding a fast break.
Yeah, Allie, the bulk of the coffee table was super stressful. Have any of y'all seen the coffee table yet?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid movie, man. It's a weird one to explain. I don't want to ruin anything. You need to go into it as blind as possible. But let's just say that you're not going to be done with that movie and be in a good mood. It is a dark, fucking, dirty, dingy fucking movie is what it is.
What's it about? The coffee table? I don't think I've heard of it.
Basically, I'm not going to say too much, whatever. But basically, it starts off they're in a fucking furniture store. This fucking salesman is hard selling them to buy this fucking ugly ass coffee table. And they bring it to the fucking. He's like, you have to see. It's like a 10-minute fucking scene of him selling this fucking table to these people. The husband wants it, the wife's bitch and don't want it. End up bringing it home. They have a big fight about it. I'm not going to go any further than that. They just say that shit ensues after that. Some pretty crazy shit. And it's definitely intense, stressful, fuck the whole fucking movie. So I dug it. It went straight on the fucking shelf after I watched it. So
you guys see the trailer for this? Hell of a Summer.
Oh yeah,
it comes out this year. It's neon. It looks pretty damn good. I thought the trailer.
Is that the Finn Wolfhard movie?
Like
one of
Finn Wolfhard. Yep.
I seen a trailer again for it today before the monkey.
Yeah, I did. That's the first time I saw a trailer for it. I think it looks really good.
I'll give it a shot when it comes out.
Like Wolf said, you only see white people going down to those places. You ain't going to catch a Spanish and African game going. That's one time that I'm glad I'm fat. Ain't nobody ever going to invite me to go cave diving. So I'm real glad of that. So,
Well, you can't be over 6 feet and do this stuff anyway. I mean, there's certain things you got to be. You have to be very, very slender and very short.
And not have all you got them dogs barking.
Yeah, like airplane seats and coach. Oh,
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
13 hours back and forth from Japan in the back behind the wing, of course.
You'll get stuck just exhaling.
Yeah.
Appreciate you stopping in, Crusher.
Crusher.
So like I said, I love Red Dragon. That's an amazing movie in the Silence of the Lambs universe.
Very underrated.
Manhunter's good too.
Yeah, Manhunter too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Manhunter. Me and my son just watched Manhunter the other night. Man, I haven't seen Manhunter. Fuck, I've had the movie on my shelf from Scream Factory forever. I haven't seen it in probably 20 fucking years. It's good though. I like it. Almost like a first time watching it so long since I've seen it.
I think it holds up pretty well for the most part.
Yeah, it does. I would love to go to Thailand. Beautiful girls there too.
I don't think those are girls, dude.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You better.
Go watch The Hangover 2, I think it is, or whatever it is.
They're like chicks with dicks, or sorry, guys with tits. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
Lady boys.
Now classic is 7. I'm pretty sure most of you guys have watched 7. Yeah, 7 is one of my favorites, man. It's gonna be in my top 20.
All-time great. One of one movie.
Yeah, it'll probably always stand out in my mind as the greatest movie ending.
Yeah.
You guys see Kevin Spacey coming out against like some claim against
Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce was out there virtue signaling, like, oh man, Kevin Spacey was like
you assaulted
real rapey and stuff with me, and it's like, you're a grown man. If a grown man tries to molest you on a movie set, you're both millionaires. Somebody's getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
And it's like Kevin Spacey was like, yeah, that's weird because you came and hung out with me 2 other times since that. So I was a horrible guy on the set of oh god damn it. It's the crime movie.
Like the Garden of Good and Evil.
No, they did a crime movie called it's a California LA.
Oh, LA Confidential.
LA Confidential, they did that. Yeah, and it's just like but now that it's fashionable to talk shit about Kevin Spacey, he's gonna talk shit about Kevin Spacey. He had a lot of notoriety out of it, and he called him out on it, rightly so. It's like, oh yeah, I molested you on the set or whatever, and you didn't beat the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Or make Russell Crowe beat the shit out of me. that just happened. Sure, it did.
He told him, "Grow up."
Yeah, grow up.
Victim.
You're not a victim. Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Hagen?
What's up, Hagen?
Yeah, that guy was just virtual signaling against Kevin Spacey trying to be probable woke.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Kevin Spacey said it better than we could ever say it. He explained it very clearly, like, yeah, well, this has been a problem the whole time, but now you're just saying something. You were a bigger star than me at the time, but now you're just now saying it. Come on.
So, Craig and Tommy, I got to know, when y'all got the news that the Stu was coming back, what was y'all's first reaction?
So immediately, I had a couple of thoughts going through my mind. The first one being flashbacks, because I think a lot of the hardcore Scream fans have always wanted to see the Maureen Prescott murder that the whole franchise is based on, something we never got to see. And I think the fact that Billy had 2 returns to the franchise with 5 and 6 coming back as like a vision, I think it was time to give Stu some love there too. And I think because Kevin Williamson, the creator of the franchise, he's directing the movie now. I think it's just his turn to have full creative control. He's bringing back his favorite characters. But I really think it has something to do with flashbacks to see the Maureen Prescott murder. They can obviously do the digital de-aging.
Yeah.
And they're bringing back Scott Foley, who played Roman, which I hate that character, by the way.
Which is the puppet master.
Yeah.
I don't even want to hear it. That was never his character to begin with. Kevin Williamson never wrote that character, ever.
Yeah.
It was always Billy and Stu, always. But either way, he's honoring it, which is nice. So we'll see what he does with that.
Scream 3 fans. There you go.
I think it's pretty obvious that Skeet's going to be back again. I've been hearing a lot of rumors about that. So, and then I also heard a bunch of rumors about like pretty much all the Ghostface was coming back.
Yeah, what?
That could be bullshit. But when Craig and I started talking about it, like the first thing that came to mind as far as what I don't want is I heard some rumors about there possibly being a scene where like Sydney like has like a bad dream or whatever you want to call it, where she sees visions of all the Ghostface killers, and that's why they're bringing them all back. And if it's just for one stupid ghost scene, that would be dumb. But as of right now, it's just Roman, Stu, and most likely Billy.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then to me, Craig and I want nothing more than that flashback scene. You know, like we want to see what happened, and whether that's going to be like the opening kill or like, or Sydney thinks back to it or something, and we finally get to see what went down that night when they killed Maureen. It would make sense because we have Roman and Stu and probably Billy, because those would be the only three you'd need, other than maybe Cotton or something.
Y'all don't think it's going to be Stu waking up from a coma with scars all over his face from the TV in his head?
Here's the thing with that. As much as I would love to see Stu return in a sequel, and that was the original plan for Scream 3 that Kevin Williamson wrote when he wrote a treatment for it. Stu was supposed to be the killer in Scream 3, like leading a cult of ghost faces attacking high school kids. That was the original plan. Then Columbine hit and the idea was scrapped. So they came up with that Roman plot with a different writer. So it's possible that he's going to go back to his Scream 3 idea and maybe do a cult of Ghostface.
Maybe.
With Stu really being the mastermind. Or, like I said, the flashbacks. Or it's possible he could be literally like a cliffhanger ending. Like she thinks that she's talking to Stu. Because to kind of circle back to like new ideas, they're talking about using AI as like the theme of the movie now. Like every movie has a different theme that they're commenting on. And AI being so popular as it is, they're going to somehow use AI to like trick Sydney into thinking all these killers are back. Like in Scream 3, they did it with the voice changer, having everyone's voice, but I don't know if they're gonna do like videos sent to her of like the killers being back when it's really AI. But it would be kind of cool to like if she's talking to Stu on the phone, and maybe that's what they're doing. They're using ghost faces, like the different killers' voices, to talk to her and try to confuse her.
Maybe like they FaceTime. They're FaceTiming
and if they're bringing them all back just for like voice cameos, that would be dumb.
But if they do an official unmasking at the end, then it really is Matthew Lillard. Like, oh shit, like we could be thinking like it's a hoax, like it's not really him, and then they unmask it, it really is him. Like
I told Craig so many times that, like, yeah, it would be fun to see Stu come back, but there's too much of a chance that it could be really lame. Like they would have to write the perfect story to make it seem even possible.
I personally think. Go ahead, Tom. I'm going to cut you off. Go
ahead. No, I was just going to say, like, because to me, like, okay, let's just say they made up a story. Okay, he survived the TV thing or whatever. It's like, okay, maybe they could make that seem possible, but why didn't Sydney know about it all this time? You know what I mean? Because like if he wouldn't have died, he would have gone to trial, for murder, and Sydney would have been there. So like if he's still alive, the only way it would make sense is if Sydney didn't know about it, but like obviously she's the key witness, you know what I mean? So it's like I don't know how else they could do it. It's just weird.
There's only one way they could do it, and that is retcon everything but the first movie and make a sequel 30 years later, like they did with Halloween 2018, the Texas Chainsaw, the Netflix Chainsaw Massacre, where it retcons all the other sequels. And
I don't think Kevin Williamson would ever do that.
Yeah, that's the only way it would make sense.
Right.
As far as Stu being alive, because it's like, well, Stu has been in a coma for 30 years. He's never been to trial yet, like you were saying. And he wakes up to kill the living witnesses, which is Courtney Cox, Randy, what's his name? God damn it, the kid who plays Randy, the actor.
Jamie Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy.
Sydney, and Dewey. have all got to get killed. He's got to kill the 4 witnesses because no witnesses, no murder type deal. So
Somebody, I read something else. I'm not going to like obviously go through the entire story, but I was reading it to Craig the other day. Somebody came up with just like an idea where Stu, his face was so mangled from the TV that the person used Judy Hicks as the person that came in and swapped out bodies or something and put somebody else's body there and then kept Stu hidden all these years. So just saying that sounds kind of dumb, but if you go through the whole story that this person came up with, it actually like makes sense how he could come back, where like people thought he died, but really they just swapped out his body with another person that got killed or something.
Well, I personally think they kind of stepped on their dicks. They should have never announced he was coming back and made him the surprise killer reveal at the end of the movie.
The only reason they announce it because it's nothing. Like, he's barely in it. They just announce it to get the buzz going.
Publicity.
Publicity. Because if they wanted to make a good movie and he's a big part of it, then they would just leave that out. If
they do that.
It was a mystery, that who the killer was.
They do that. Everybody's talking about Scream 7, and everybody's fucking jonesing at the fucking.
Some people that don't even care for it, they're talking about it, like right here. So
I know, but like I said, it would break the fucking internet if he can't. It was revealed him as the killer. I think it would be the smarter way to do it.
Somehow.
If it was anybody else directing this movie, and we found out about Stu and everything, then right away I'd be like, "Yep, it's going to be something stupid. It's just going to be another ghost vision, or it's going to be a stupid." Voice cameo or something, but because it's Kevin Williamson, like I have faith in this dude because this is his shit. Like he wrote Scream from the beginning, so I feel like he's gonna give us Stu the right way, and everybody's gonna be happy about it, whatever that ends up being.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping it's just a flashback to see the actual.
That's what I want. I don't want. If I had to pick what I want. That would be my number one pick would be don't bring him back from the dead. Don't give us a stupid vision. Give us him in a prequel concept where we get to see the opening kill, where we get to see Maureen get killed and how it all went down. And I mean, there's so many theories you could put together, like him and Billy, as stupid as it ended up being, we see Roman come to the two of them and talk Billy into doing this and saying, hey, her mom, broke your parents up and you got to do this, and talks him into it. And then Billy has to talk Stu into it, and Stu doesn't want to do it. But remember he said peer pressure, showing Billy like, actually, come on, help me with this. We can do this. And then the night comes and like Stu's hesitant. He doesn't want to do it or whatever. And then they end up doing it. We see the kill and then Cotton's there because, Cotton got framed. Like to see the whole thing go down would just be fucking epic, I think.
And it makes you wonder, like, did they use the Ghostface persona? Did they call her on the phone? Did they have the costume yet?
Maybe not. Maybe they didn't even use the costume.
Just like a quick home invasion. They broke in, they cut her up and stabbed her a few times and they left. And I guess Billy, to conceal his identity, he put Cotton's jacket on, but that's who Sidney saw leave the house. So like, oh, that's his jacket. Cotton killed the mom. But like you see in the first Scream, like when Cotton gets into the cop car, his hairstyle looks just like Billy's.
Yep.
He looks just like Billy.
Yep.
So like maybe that he just put the jacket on and left the house, not knowing Sidney was watching. And he just kind of dodged a bullet there. Like, oh shit, she saw me, but she thought I was Cotton. But
yeah,
it would be cool to see the whole thing go down, like to just see that whole prequel thing. Like I would just be just so excited just to watch the whole thing.
I think you're probably right, especially with Roman coming back. I mean, the guy got a bullet right through the brain. There's no way he's alive.
Yeah,
so,
he's definitely not alive. So obviously Roman's coming back either for a stupid Vision ghost cameo like they did with Billy in 5 and 6.
He's going to ghost cameo Sidney. He's going to be talking to her.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But I think it'll be more like Halloween Kills, like you're saying, the exact same thing, but like with Halloween Kills, how they had like the flashback at the beginning. The beginning will be the Maureen Prescott murder, and all three of them will be involved. that kind of thing. And then
That would be so fucking cool, man. I want to see that.
it makes sense.
Like after all the years of watching Scream, I've visioned the whole thing in my mind, how it went down, and I want to see it play out. I just think that would be so cool.
I'm just gonna be real disappointed if somebody don't hit him with a phone. Somebody just hit him with a phone somewhere in the movie.
And Craig said it, like every movie has a theme. The first movie is scary movies. The second one is horror movie sequels. The third one is trilogies. The fourth one is remakes. The fifth one is requels. And the sixth one is more or less franchises. So the one concept they've never used is prequel.
Yeah.
They've never used that. And that would be a great idea to make this movie present day, but focus a lot on prequel aspects.
Yeah, well, it could just be a prequel. I mean, really,
it could be.
Courtney Cox is not usable anymore. I don't know if she's been cast or not, but she's stapled her face too many times. She's unrecognizable. Dewey's dead. So, I mean, if you just get rid of Courtney Cox and de-age everybody else with the technology, you could just make a prequel.
That would be cool. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, do the Prescott murder.
Like, do the whole thing, and it ends right. Like, can you imagine, like, if this movie was 100% a prequel, it ends right where Billy and Stu show up at Casey's house, and then it ends right there. Like we see them going to Casey's, and that's where the movie ends. You know what I mean? That would just be so cool.
I mean, people can say what they want about Scream. They make a lot of money. I'm not a Scream guy, but I can tell you this: Kevin Williamson is very talented. He made that movie Sick. He wrote and directed it. I think he did a real good job with that. He's obviously a great writer. He's written a lot of great movies. So I don't think this is his baby. Like what Tommy was saying, I don't think he's going to let it be something really, really stupid. He might have a really good idea. And
I think he does.
We'll see what happens.
I think he's going to give us everything we want. And I think he's going to, he's been away from the franchise for a little bit. And I think he's kind of coming back to course correct. And I think he's going to straighten things out and just kind of bring things back to its roots and give the fans what they want, and however that may come across. But I think whatever it ends up being, I have faith because of Kevin Williamson. If it was anybody else, I'd be super leery about this, but being Kevin Williamson, I have faith, and I think it's going to turn out to be awesome.
Well, that's what made Nev Campbell come back, was the fact that Kevin Williamson's doing it.
Yep.
And, he probably had a really good, just like Tommy said, he probably had a really good script. Maybe he's had it for a while, and he was just waiting for the Scream 6 to happen and derail everything, in my opinion. Listen, I know people like it. I'm watching that movie. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, why is this so long? Why is everybody getting stabbed 300 times? I mean, I had a lot of problems with it. And not only getting stabbed 300 times, living.
Yeah, that's what I had with everybody was living.
Somehow living through all this. So Tommy said it, course correct, and maybe this is like his legacy. He wants to put a bow on the end of the whole thing and go out on a positive note.
Really honor Wes Craven so and another thing too is we got the twins back. So if anything, I guess it couldn't really be a full up sequel.
It's still a direct sequel to Scream 6.
That's another thing that took the Roman character being announced that he's coming back, and then I get what is it? The Dominican broad and the Mexican broad are coming back too, from the other movies from 5 and 6. They're coming back, aren't they?
Well, I started hearing little rumors about the possibility, but then now I watch a lot of the Beyond the Mask. You ever watch that guy on YouTube? He does a lot of he's all about Scream, and he gives a lot of leaks, and most of the stuff he's been doing it. I've been watching him since Scream 5, and most of the leaks that he gives us ends up being true. And sometimes I watch him too much. It's almost like I'm spoiling it for myself, but but I watched one tonight now where now they're starting to have leaks and rumors where almost to the point of somehow kind of retconning part of the story of 6 with the sisters. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, they got a lot of good ideas. Maybe this time around, but who knows? We'll see.
Is this going
Either
to be
that,
a?
or they just backed the truck up to Kevin Williamson and said, "Fix this.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, but just fix it."
Is
And
this
if
not only
anybody
that-
can, it's him.
Yeah,
Not only do you have Scream 7 coming out, but you got the 7th Jurassic Park coming out too.
yeah.
yeah, goddamn, that fucks up my box set. That really pisses me off.
But I will say, and I'm always like a sucker for the Jurassic movies being like one of my favorite movies of all time. I loved Jurassic World because that actually gave you like the true depiction of what Jurassic Park would be like if it was real. Right. So you saw the working theme park. Fallen Kingdom had a great first half of the movie on the island. Then the second half sucked with the dinosaurs being let loose into the wild.
Yeah, naturally.
Dominion was set up to be like the biggest movie of the franchise with the OG3 coming back and then mixing with like Chris Pratt and all them.
Yeah.
And Dominion was such a letdown. Like the dinosaurs are barely in the movie. And they focused more on like the science aspect of the shit with the locusts and stuff. And like I just felt like the dinosaurs cameoed in their own movie. And the only one that really had any like charm to him was Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
He was still like a really good character in that, but Dominion, for some reason, Dominion made the most money, being like supposed to be billed as the final one, but it was garbage.
That's because everybody had to go see it. It's like it was one of those stories that probably looked good on paper, but like it didn't turn out the way they expected. Because I went into that movie so fucking excited, and then I was so let down. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I really hate when that happens. You get something overhyped. But
Yeah.
Steve, where do you come out on the Scream 7 thing? Is there any way it's anything like you've heard from two diehard Scream guys? Tommy and Craig are gonna probably like it, have fun with it at least, regardless. But like me, I'm not optimistic. When I hear these other stupid things like we're bringing this guy back and we're bringing that guy back, and it's still going to be part of 6 and that whole thing. And like, what do you think? Is there any way this is going to be any way good? I guess is the word I would use.
I don't know. I'm not a Scream fan, like per se. I really liked the first one when it came out, and I haven't seen. I think I may have seen like 2, 3, and 4, like maybe once. But the fact that Kevin Williamson is coming back, that's a good sign. I don't know. Having Stu come back, I think it's cool for Matthew Lillard.
Yeah,
Seems like
seems
a
like
cool
a good
dude.
guy.
Good for his career. So hopefully that'll give him a boost, and he can do more, because there need to be better people in Hollywood, because most everyone's a piece of shit.
I've seen him at a convention before, and like he showed up, and everybody was excited that he was there. Like
He's a nice guy. He's good
people
to his
in-
fans.
The people in Sydney's line and Skeet Ulrich's line were cheering that Matthew Lillard was
Yeah,
coming.
the one video that stands out for me with Matthew Lillard, which really made me more of a fan, was somebody filmed him in the convention, and he was there for Scream, but this young fan came up to him as Shaggy, and he turned into a totally different person talking to the kid.
Yep.
The Shaggy character as being the Stu character. So I thought that was pretty cool.
He just seems like a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah,
Yep.
he does.
So who knows, man? I don't know. Alan, are you looking forward to this? It's this year we're getting.
I was asking earlier, is this the 2026 release or is this later this year? It's got to be
February next year.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm a little more excited about this one than I have been the last two, whenever I'm hopeful. I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to kind of stick it back into the story. So I'll definitely be in theaters watching this one. And I'm not going to lie, because of Stu. I'm a big fan of Stu's character.
Yeah.
And from the first one. So I'm interested to see I think they should have already brought him back. But so I don't know. We'll see. But I was not a big fan of 5 and 6. Truthfully, I've only seen them probably 5 twice. Probably seen 5 twice. Only seen 6 once. And I'll probably go back and I'm sure before this one comes out, I'll go back and rewatch all of them. I usually do that. So we'll see.
Hopefully they can wrap it up nicely.
Put a bow on it, just do. And like the more I think about it, Tommy was talking about a straight up prequel with the fucking the Irishman de-aging shit or whatever. Just that could be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it's not this one, I think before it's all said and done, we'll get one of those.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point that's going to happen.
I'm excited though.
Yeah. Either
Super
way,
pumped.
that's the thing about it. I've mentioned it before, but people will criticize this franchise like they criticize any franchise, like Saw or whatever.
Yeah.
People go to see these movies. That's why they keep making them. People
They're
always
making
go
money.
to the theater. They make a lot of money. So there are a lot of fans, regardless of what you may think of.
I'll say in my own personal opinion, there's a ton of horror franchises out there, current ones, Saw, Conjuring, and then you got your, old school Chucky and Jason and Freddy and all that stuff. But you got some good movies in those franchises, and then the majority of them typically just suck and they're crappy. But to me, with Scream, it's like I have my rankings of them, and some are fantastic, some are okay, better than others. But I think Scream is one of the most like quality franchises where even the bad ones are good movies. Like I think so far with Scream, I think they've all been decent movies. Like it's a pretty consistent franchise in my opinion.
Budget wise, they're not all over the place either. Like they all
Right.
have to have big money because you got to bring these same actors back.
Yeah.
Whereas like a Friday the 13th, anybody can put that mask on. There it's a mystery element to it. But I mean, would you say, here's an interesting one. Maybe Sydney would ask this, but in your guys' opinion, which is the worst Scream? Even though you may still like it, which is the worst?
I think 3 has terrible writing, but it still has that Wes Craven charm to it.
It's pretty fun.
I didn't like that. Like I said, Scream 3, my biggest problem is that I don't mind the character of Roman. I just don't like the fact that he's just supposed to be the mastermind of Billy and Stu. If they left that part out of him being the mastermind, then I would buy it. But the
I
fact
like
that
his motive. Like, he's the brother, the jealous brother. I think that was a cool motive if you just take out the mastermind bullshit, because that takes away from Stu and Billy. It just makes them look like pussies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you take that away, Scream 3 isn't bad. And yeah, it's not that gory because it got nailed by the
MPA.
Whatever, because of everything that was going on at the time and trouble with rewrites. And you got a Kevin Williams script, and then Aaron Kruger comes in and redoes everything. So it had its share of problems. But at the end of the day, like Craig said, it's got the Wes Craven charm. It's still fun. And somebody, said this once, and to me, I feel like it's like the best way to describe Scream is that most people agree that 3 is probably their least favorite. 6 tends to be a new one of people's least favorite. But if you take a movie like Scream 3 and Scream 6 or whatever it may be, if that's the worst movie in your franchise, you're doing something right.
That's a good point.
So Craig and I kind of go back and forth, but I think at this point 6 is probably my least favorite.
Yeah, me too.
It used to be 3, and now it's probably 6. I would say
6 made
favorite
3
to least would go 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 6.
My exact same order.
Yeah.
My thing with Scream, I am a Scream fan. I like most of the Scream movies, but the reason why I don't put Scream above some of the other big franchises is that Scream, most of the kills, I mean, pretty much all the kills is going to be with a knife.
Exactly.
It's going to get stabbed. At least with the Friday movie, you get the more unique kills. You do get the garage kill, whatever, in part 1. But for the most part, the other franchises, especially something like Saw, you're going to get all kind of crazy shit.
Yeah.
You pretty much know in Scream it's going to be another stabbing. How many different ways can you stab somebody and not make it repetitive?
It's always the mystery.
So it's more of a whodunit kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how you look at it. Like, I agree. Like, I mean, old school franchises like Freddy and Jason and stuff will always be special to me because it's nostalgia and it's old school and I love it and it's fun. And yeah, they have tons of different great kills and stuff, but then when you're dealing with movies like Jason and stuff, it's so inconsistent and there's no story to it. It's just more or less about the kills. Where Scream might kind of be lame when it comes to the kills and stuff on some of them, but they're more story driven and trying to stay consistent and to the plot. So it's just kind of how you look at it. I mean, I think some screams have better kills than others. But I mean, I can definitely see your point there. It's just kind of like, I just think Scream is very consistent and you know, the plots and the stories end up being pretty good.
Yeah.
Steve,
I agree with you on that.
we're Scream, Steve. Which one's the worst?
Out of the ones that I've seen,
Have you not seen them all?
no, I haven't seen 6.
Well, you can keep it that way. Other than the collection, that Scream collection that happens, that's the coolest part of the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little over the top, but it's still cool.
Yeah, well, the guy's wearing a vintage, actual murder used Scream mask, you know, from the 90s.
It still blows my mind how somebody would have access to get every one of those items.
But that stuff happens. Those things they're very valuable, and they get pilfered from evidence and sold on eBay or whatever. And people are able to buy stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was probably the highlight of Scream 6, though. The fact that it's such attention to detail in that shrine room.
Yeah.
Made me kind of geek out a little bit. I'm like,
and it's all over the trailer. It's designed. They put that there to get people to go see it, and it worked for the most part.
I was kind of excited to see Kirby coming back, but I don't like the way they utilized her.
I don't think she acted in it. I don't. She hasn't acted in years and years.
It was a big step down for her, and I don't know. I mean, it's not like she was a very prominent character or anything, but I was kind of excited to see her come back, but yeah, I didn't like what they did with her. It's kind of dumb.
I loved her in 4, 6. She's so flat.
Yeah.
4 is my favorite of the series, and 6 to me is the absolute worst. I don't think it comes close. Like I said, I think 6 makes 3 look better.
I agree.
I love 4. I just hate that it's filmed with like a Vaseline filter over the camera.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like GoPros or something from the day. Not even GoPros. They were like
it was a creative design choice from Wes Craven, because I think a lot of horror remakes had that filter.
Yeah,
I think that's what it came down to. Is a lot of them look like that.
But that's another one. That's definitely my favorite ending too, with the crazy broad. You know, she's
she's fucking psychotic.
yeah, that's crazy right there. But I still don't. Steve, what did you say was your worst, the worst one you've seen?
If I remember correctly, it's probably going to be the 3rd.
Yeah. So he hasn't seen 6 yet. So that's usually the common answer: 3 or 6.
Yeah.
Which one do you like the most of the ones you've seen?
I wasn't a fan of the 5th.
It's like 5 to me it's just kind of a sequel to 4. If you really like 4, you can get something out of 5 because Judy.
5's like a bridge movie.
Yeah.
5 was pretty solid. I liked 6 when I first seen it. I think I was just so hyped about it, and it was like the first one that Craig and I got to see together.
Yeah.
And I was pretty hyped about it, and I remember after seeing it, I was pretty excited. But then over time, you know, seeing it a few more times, it's worked its way down to the bottom. It's got a lot of problems.
Yeah, it's fucking long too.
Yeah,
it's very long.
I didn't like the reveal. I think for 6, I was expecting a much bigger reveal that was a little bit more tied to the roots of Scream. So I was let down about that. I mean, if Steve hasn't seen it yet, I don't really want to spoil anything. But
well, you know who the killer is the first time you see him in Scream 6. I mean, everybody, and of course, the killer even says in Scream 6, "Of course, it's me."
I know, right?
Well, Scream does that though. Scream always throws the killer right in your face.
Yeah,
and it's like you have to ask yourself, like, are they really doing this, or is this a trick?
Yeah,
like
this
in the
is a
first
red herring,
movie,
obviously.
They literally tell you it's Billy. They literally point fingers at Billy the whole time. You're like, it's got to be him.
Yeah,
but sometimes it's like it's kind of like they do that to fuck with you, like. You know, because I remember thinking when I first saw the part 1, the whole time I'm like, okay, they're pointing too many fingers at Billy. They're trying to make you think it's him.
Yeah, red herring type.
Yeah, and then it ends up being him. Even like even when Billy died, I was like, see, I knew it wasn't him. And then all of a sudden I was like, what? Like, the fuck was that?
Ketchup, just like my mom uses on her spaghetti.
Oh,
Like
shit.
Ray's Bush Ginger. Surprise!
Right.
Yes. We get into before we get into that, Alan, what would you say your worst is in that you've seen? I know you've seen them all. What would you say the worst in the
Yeah, I've seen them all. Probably 6. Yeah, 6 is definitely my least favorite. I was 5. I could take or leave whatever. The rest 1 through 4, I'm pretty much a fan of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 and
That's
6,
great
whatever.
movies.
Like I said, I haven't went back and watched them a whole lot. That tells you something right there.
Yeah.
Um,
What I like about I don't know. Go ahead. Don't let me cut you off.
No, I'm done. Like I said, 1 through 4, whatever is going to be kind of where my sweet spot is. 1 obviously is the best. At least
Well-
there would be 6. The 2, 3, and 4, I enjoy them. 5 was like that was okay. 6, I was like, what the fuck?
And you hate every one of those characters in 5
Yeah.
too. So I mean, it's not what you're used to, where you're like rooting for Sydney and Randy, and you're rooting for all these characters to live. In 5, I'm telling you, I wanted every one of those kids to die, and almost none of them get it, unfortunately. But I don't know. Like I said, 4. Why I've got you guys here. Correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen it in a long time. I watched 5 just today, actually, to see if, because in my mind I was kind of asking Craig about it, but we really didn't have time to talk about it. But like, is there in 4? Does 4? I believe 4 only mentions the first movie, and the rest of the stab movies after it. I think it only references the original, from what I remembered. Is that really the case, or am I
I think they
remembering
did that on purpose, just as a fact, because it was based on remakes.
Mhm.
But it's still 2 and 3 are still canon to that, because Gail even says in the movie, like, I helped solve these things 3 times.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. Yeah.
They focus mostly on part 1 because they're remaking part 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you go back and watch it again, I think there's a couple small references to.
Maybe pointed references.
Yeah.
Because I know there is in 5. They mention Gail talks about it, and the Dominican broad brings it up that this happens every few years. Last time it happened was in 2011, referencing 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we are getting a new scary movie. That's what I wanted to say earlier.
I heard that.
In 2025, in this climate, is it even going to work? Can it even be good? Is it possible that it will even be any? Like, how do you even make a comedy? Anymore?
It depends on what it is, because I've heard that it's supposed to be some form of a remake. Is what I've heard. Like, it's like almost like a reboot of the franchise, is what I've heard. So they could just go back and just start over and do something different.
Yeah,
I felt like they need to take the angle of they need to be really fuck with how things are nowadays.
yeah.
If they need to kind of make that kind of a plot part of the movie, whatever, just kind of like poking fun at all the pussies.
But that would be interesting. But like Marlon Wayans is very much into that. I don't know exactly what the right wording is, the Jordan Peele stuff, and
Yeah.
kind of like Marlon Wayans is very big into that. So I don't know how he's going to poke fun at the crazy stuff that's happening and make a good movie. But I guess we'll see.
It'll be interesting. They've been talking about making a new one for many, many years. And I always thought it would be so great to see, because every scary movie has they parody a bunch of things, but there's always like one main thing that they're parodying, And I always thought, like, picture this. And wouldn't it be so funny if they did a scary movie that spoofs Final Destination? Wouldn't that have been hilarious? The possibilities are just endless, what they could have done with that. I always thought that would have been so funny.
That'd be cool if they brought Ghostface back with the aged
The age, the mask, and it's completely rotted away, and you can see who the killer is.
Yeah, that would be great.
Let's catch up with the chat, guys, before we get too far out of hand. What's up,
You'll
Mark?
never know who we are.
Mark,
Tommy, remember you brought up a great point. You're like, in the first scary movie when they reveal themselves to Sydney, you're like, they're not even the killers.
I know. One of them just got fake killed by somebody, by the real killer. And then they're down there with Cindy, and they're like, it's supposed to be the big reveal scene, and all they're revealing is that they're gay. It's like they're not even talking about being the killers. It's like, what are you doing? It's like it's so funny. It like makes no sense.
He gets fake killed by the killer.
I know. It's like I'm gay, and in case you haven't noticed, so is Ray. I'm not gay.
That part's so funny.
Like, what are you talking about?
He's
Took me
gay
to
in
that
the whole
club.
movie, then denies it at the end.
He took me to San Francisco.
They play good music, but it's like, okay, first off, you suck my dick.
Yeah, I wanted to go shopping.
I want to go shopping. It's like, all right, if I see Bobby again, I'll tell him I love him.
Yeah,
They're in the football scene. All right, hit the showers, right?
Well,
Yes.
all the stuff you're talking about, dude, like, you can't satirize or make fun of any of that stuff you're talking about.
Oh God, I
It's
know.
interesting to see how that works out. You're right about that because a lot of that shit now. And I remember we watched 1 and 2 the other night, whatever. And I say the other night, it's been a couple months ago. And yeah, a lot of that shit wouldn't fly 2025.
Oh hell no.
Most of it wouldn't fly.
Ray's got that yellow tank top on. He's got the yellow tank top on, and he goes, "Does this shirt make me look gay?" And they go,
He turns
"Nah."
it inside out. Looks
He,
like a
makes
bra.
it
How
look
about now?
really gay. He goes, "How about now?" No, you're
Yeah,
good.
man.
Yeah, you go, girl. Put this on. He's like
He's
making her
calling-
put
I'm with
He's
it.
calling her Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon. Mark Jones, what's up, man? Am I gonna get to meet you finally next month?
Oh no, I hope not. That would be dumb to do like Halloween and just forget all the sequels. Hope they don't. That sucks. 4K tape revival. I hope that doesn't happen. Sorry.
If Snoo's alive, that's the only way it could work, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that's a good idea or a bad idea. I'm just saying that's the only way I
Yeah.
can think that he'd be alive.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's saying.
I've been looking at that, trying to figure it out. Am I missing something, y'all?
He always used to call me Steggins.
Okay. I
Oh.
figured
I
it was
don't know
something.
where the nickname came from. I think it rhymes with Steggs rhymes with Craig. I don't know.
I'm also a huge fan of the Scream MTV series. I love it too. Never
That's a
watched
college nickname for sure.
it. Trini, what's up, buddy?
So,
Trini.
Hey, Scolder, what's going on, buddy?
Scolder's a big Scream guy.
They saying, hey, Chris C, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Chris?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, he said five was okay, 6 is hot garbage. Not a fan of 6. Scary Movie 2 is great. Looks like it's all bone salad.
Scary Movie 2 is pretty underrated. That's making fun of a lot of movies. Tim Curry's great in it.
Yeah.
I think the Exorcist spoof at the beginning is like
Yeah.
the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah, James Woods.
Yep.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting, just like I said, to see how they navigate this era into
I
a
know.
R-rated comedy, if it's even possible.
Yeah, I don't know if Keenan Ivory Wayans could really write anything that's updated. Like,
I mean, these guys are, that's a good point. These guys are old too. I mean, they are these are 60-year-old men at this point, and how are they in touch with the times and comedy? Is
Yeah.
basically dead anyway. So I don't know.
I feel like during writing the script, they're gonna have to it's like gonna be walking on eggshells or something. Like,
They'll
you
be
gotta
an
be
attorney.
careful.
There'll be a room full of attorneys sitting around them as they're writing this stuff. Like
Nope. Erase that. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we got the Scream guys on here. We're talking about Scream. I wanted to show these off again. So you got the Volume 1. And I like how you did Volume 1 and Volume 2 because it's obviously not a dead franchise.
Yeah. I mean, do we get, I mean, this has not really been rebooted. Obviously, these later ones are continuations. How long before we get like a straight up starting over?
Pops,
I don't
is the
know.
Steelbooks in there or the Amrays?
It'll fit either one. This one's got the steelbook.
Okay.
So they're the individual side slips like Rocky, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this has got the steelbook. That's 3.
You know how much those steelbooks are worth? A lot.
Yeah, I hadn't priced them, but they ain't going nowhere.
Just the first 3 are probably worth $500.
And Scream 2. And I was pissed off whenever, of course, I got the Steelbook Scream 2 in there. And then I was getting ready to put all my movies in here. And I was like, goddamn, I ain't got Scream 4. What the fuck? And it didn't even So I have no movie in Scream 4 right now.
Yeah.
So
Alan reached out to me to ask me about the releases of Scream 4.
there's artwork
And
for 4.
I reached out to Craig
Damn.
to find out about the releases of Scream 4. And when I text Craig, let me just explain to that how that goes. I have to send like reminders of like the hands clapping and like fingers pointing, like, hey, what I just said, you know, I know you looked at your phone and then you saw a squirrel go by or whatever. You got to get back to this. Normally, that's what happens. When I asked about Scream 4 and the releases of Scream 4, 30 seconds later, I get responses.
You got me at a good time.
And a good subject.
Yeah, this is how it goes. This is where it is. But we only had that regular Blu-ray, I think.
Yep.
The art on those are fucking gorgeous. Alan.
Yeah, I'm getting
And
twisted up
he's
here.
paying somebody to come up with these. So it's all new stuff. It's all new artwork.
Yeah, there's Scream 5.
Damn. Oh, I gotta get them.
All artwork he paid for, and artist dude.
I love it how you get the original poster art and then you get
Yeah.
something new on the back. I love it.
So, yeah, I need a copy of Scream 4.
It's out there. It's just a regular old Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But it's
I
like
need to grab one.
that's a Lionsgate product. There will be
Yeah.
a Lionsgate 4K limited edition with a slip or whatever soon.
Hopefully they do the Saw sequels soon. Like at least Saw 2 would be nice.
Yeah.
It's all coming. Or a 4K set. I mean, who knows?
And then the Rob Zombie Halloweens, which Scream Factory can't get.
Apparently, whenever maybe this is the year we get the Rob Zombie Halloween 4Ks.
Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of Scream Factory, is there any want lists for 2025 for Scream Factory?
Well, they announced The Hunt on 4K. I'll be picking that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not going to work. It doesn't have a slip.
It doesn't have a slip. Well, maybe Blockbuster box sets can help you out with that.
Yeah.
Dust Till Dawn.
Dust Till Dawn 4K would be great.
Yeah.
And they're probably the company.
Why did Paramount scrap that?
It's isn't it a Weinstein property? Isn't it Miramax? And at the time, that was in the middle of when they were about to do it. When they were
It was right when they bought the Miramax catalog.
Yeah, maybe they thought it was in poor taste because all the the
Me Too movement.
suggestive stuff, Me Too type thing. The movie's kind of, I wouldn't say really rapey, but it's very suggestive and kind of pervy with a young girl, and I don't know. Maybe they thought it was poor timing.
It almost feels like a Tales from the Crypt movie.
Yeah, it does. I agree with you.
Maybe isn't Trump in that movie? Because that's why we didn't get Home Alone 2.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's
I don't know if this could possibly be a shout select whatever, but this needs to be the year that we get a 4K of Armageddon. So that needs to happen.
It's supposed to be coming. That and
I've heard rumors, and I've heard rumors. We pretty much got every other fucking disaster flick, but that one, and that needs to
Alan,
4K is coming this year.
Alan's doing the commentary.
The Rock needs to come too.
Yeah.
I need a 4K.
That's one of those Disney titles, isn't it?
Yeah, but apparently, like now that Sony's doing the distribution,
Yeah.
like they're opening the Fox Vault and like the Touchstone Vault. So hopefully, we'll get some better titles out of that.
I just
Wow,
hope we can get some
Fox,
shitty, just basic bitch 4K release of Armageddon. I need a nice fucking set, a nice release of that.
I know. I love that movie too, man.
Yeah,
'Cause I think Signs and Sixth Sense sold very well. So that just shows them like, hey, people are buying your catalog titles. Keep doing them.
the trouble with Disney is they make so much money, so many different places. It's just kind of, yeah, we'll do it, but it's like
I don't think they really care.
they just don't care. That's the big problem with it. They don't care, and they have a streaming service now, and it's like they have two streaming services, Hulu and Disney Plus. So it's like the less physical media out there, the more we get traffic back to our. So it's like, yeah, we don't really need the money, and we've got a lot invested in the streaming service. So what do we really do here?
I heard it. I heard at the corporate office for Disney, in the whole building, every single bathroom, they have stacks of $100 bills that people wipe their ass
Yeah,
with.
wipe their ass on gold toilets. Absolutely makes sense to me.
So I don't really think they give a shit.
There's a lot of Fox stuff I would like to see on 4K. I'd like to see, again, we talked about it earlier, Way of the Gun. I'd like to see that on 4K from somebody.
Just give me Home Alone 2. please.
Yeah, Home Alone 2. Sure.
There's a lot of Touchstone titles I'd love to see.
Yeah, there's a this
Three
is kind of a
Ninjas.
deep cut, whatever. But fucking The Program. You ever seen The Program, the football movie?
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
That's what I like to get. Love to see a 4K release of that one.
Yeah.
Goose Bigelow. I would love to see
Yeah.
a Blu-ray at least.
Boogie Nights, we talked about it earlier on 4K, would be a
Well,
big,
that ain't already got one.
big hit.
Craig, we don't need Deuce Bigelow. We have Big Stan already.
Yeah, Big Stan's already out. You don't need that other stuff on Blu-ray.
That was a terrible another interaction that pissed me off.
So what was it like when you ran into Mickey Asian
Mikey
Rob?
Madison.
Yeah.
So Melissa Barrera, I'll say this first. Like I met Melissa Barrera first because Mikey Madison was 3 hours late.
Bitch.
So Melissa Barrera was awesome. She just gave me the biggest hug in the world and squeezed me. I'm like, okay, you can let go now. Let go. But
My girlfriend's right there, please. It's not touching me. It's not looking good for me.
and then my buddy behind me was like, what is it with you and this Latina Riz? How did you get her to do that? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just natural. Dominican broads like 400-pound giant white guys. That's just the way it is.
Then they're gonna love me.
But yeah, she was cool. And I think what made the Melissa Barrera thing awesome was that when I went back for my photo op and I was waiting for my turn to go back, I start walking back there between her and Mikey Madison, and she turns and goes, "Hey, Craig." And I'm like, how the hell did you remember my name? Like, that's what made it cool. I thought that was awesome.
He didn't realize he's got a fucking name tag on.
Yeah, like, oh. Yeah. But with Mikey Madison, one, she was late, and that pissed me off because I wanted to get the hell out of there because it was getting packed. Two was that when she brought the 8x10s, she only had like 7 stacks on her table, and it was like stills of Ghostface from the movie, not of her character. And like some stills of her character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I'm like, that's a cool looking photo of her with the knife screaming.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I wanted that picture of her holding the gun to Sydney's head, like laughing maniacally. Like, I love that shot.
Yeah.
And she didn't have it. I've seen like other conventions that she's done. She's done that photo. She didn't have it. So I just went with a basic like publicity still of her, with a scream quote. I'm like, well, that was a waste of money. I'm like, I'm not even satisfied with that.
Yeah.
But then like she wouldn't even let you get near her on a picture.
Yeah.
Like she was so awkward. She wouldn't talk much, and it just wasn't a good interaction. Like you try to talk to her, she's just very standoff. She's very Gen Z, very Gen Z.
I thought that
Autistic,
bitch was
you
from
mean?
fucking Blair Witch Project. Fucking yeah, she was a total bitch.
Yeah.
Broke my heart.
Yeah,
I
they're-
love that fucking movie, and I was
I
excited.
didn't-
I paid $40 for her fucking autograph. That pisses me off.
I've
It's
never
so hit or
gotten
miss
that.
with celebrities. Like you never know. Like,
Yeah.
I've met
the fucking
so many
celebrities.
damn
Wow.
people, and there's so many people I've gone into thinking they're going to be the nicest person, and they end up being assholes, and then like the opposite. Then I go to meet somebody that I, for some reason, think is going to be an asshole, and they're like super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never gotten an autograph. I've never stood in line. I was in the bathroom when Skeet Ulrich came in there, and he looked like he thought somebody was going to eat him in that bathroom. Like, dude, you're just a guy taking a piss like the rest of us. Like, I don't know what
That's-
is going on.
That's funny. My experience with Skeet was so funny because I met him in like 2016 or 2017, and this was before, he came back for 5, and he was pretty much nothing really at the time, and he was, he came that year to Texas with Matthew Lillard, and Matthew Lillard was still huge, with Scooby Doo and everything. And I shit you not, like they were, pretty much set up next to each other. And Matthew Lillard had like 10,000 trillion people in his line. And Skeet had nobody.
Yeah.
Like I know it's different now because it's, Scream has kind of exploded again and Skeet came back and all that shit. And now he's got packed lines. But then it was so funny. There was nobody there. Like I literally walked right up to him. I got to sit and talk with him because there's nobody in his line. It was so funny. And I'm thinking like, okay, if you look at this from a Scream standpoint, like you're the bigger character. Like
Yeah.
Billy was the bigger character than Stu, kind of from when you think about it. And Matthew Lillard has 1,000 people and he's got like nobody. I just thought that was so funny.
To kind of backpack off with my Mikey Madison experience. So I ended up, I'm like, I have to find that 8x10 still that she has and buy it. Cause I'm not a big autograph person, but like I had to get this one because it's so cool. And she's like one of my favorite Ghostface reveals anyway, because it's so abrupt. But like this is the photo I was talking about. Like it's her holding the gun to Sydney's head, like looking all crazy. So I ended up buying this autograph from like an Authentics place when she did like a private signing. And then when I got the autograph, it was crushed in transit. So like right where Nev Campbell's autograph is, there's a huge crease like right down the side of it. I'm like, well, that sucks because now I got a perfect autograph, but like it just got ruined in the mail. And then I see on Instagram the very next day, it was like day 2 of the convention, she had the stack of 8x10s of that photo I wanted. I'm like, God damn it, I should have waited.
Yeah.
So yeah, my whole experience with Mikey Madison wasn't the best. But then after I saw Lenora, I'm like, okay, I can forgive you. Like that was a cool movie.
I've only been to one convention, and the 2 people that were the nicest at that convention I went to, one kind of pissed me off because it was Derek Mears. Derek Mears was the first Jason I ever met, and the only Jason I ever met. And I was hoping he was kind of maniacal, kind of an asshole. And he gave me a fucking big fucking bro double tap, big 2 titty hug. After the fucking autograph. It's the nicest guy you're ever going to fucking meet. And Courtney Gaines, fucking Malachi from fucking Children of the Corn, nicest fucking guy. You couldn't get away from him. He was talking so much.
Yeah.
So they were just, it was a good experience. But like I said, goddamn, I dropped some money on autographs. Being the first time in there, I got kind of a little starstruck. I was dropping 40. Goddamn it.
It adds up.
I had to put me out of that bitch. I was broke.
People
I
spend a
went
lot of
with a lot of
money.
cash, bought that with like $8.
Well, Steve, I know you're kind of an autograph guy. I know you're like, I know you're like you really enjoy the makeup effects and everything. Did you ever meet Tom Savini? Did you ever talk to him? You're lucky.
I always wanted to, and I was about that close to going to his effects school, like when I was probably about like 22, 23. But yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of horror stories about people meeting him and him just being a total prick. So I'm good on that.
I never met him or talked to him, but I've seen him at several conventions.
He looks miserable.
There's never anybody at his table, and he looks like the least accessible person you could ever meet. Like you don't. It's like you don't. He doesn't want to talk to you. You don't want. You just get that vibe from him.
100%. I met him. Biggest dick I've ever met in my life.
Yeah,
I've heard that many times.
I don't want to meet people like that, especially I've looked up to him my whole life.
Yeah, so it's just it's what it is.
He probably stands out as one of the worst I've ever met. Another big one, at least for me personally, was Kane Hodder. Like, I think Kane Hodder is like one of the most arrogant fucking people I've ever met.
Yeah, he likes choking dudes out, like when he fucking meets them and shit. When they get autographs.
Some of these guys are only good to the girls too. Like I've heard that with like Kane Hodder. If you're a girl, he'll be the nicest guy in the world. But if you're a guy, it's like he's got to be like
that. That's funny you said that because he I've met him a bunch of times, and one of the times I met him with my wife, he was so fucking nice to her. But he was a completely different person to her. But I've told this story before, Steve. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it's kind of funny. Like one of the interactions, like I already had Kane Hodder's autograph, so I never had an intention on getting it again. But then one day I decided I had this poster and I wanted to get all the Jasons on this one poster. And so I had to meet him again one year. And it's funny because for some reason on this particular poster, there's a big giant Jason in the middle, and he's part 4, Ted White. And it just happens to be part 4, just happens to be like the center of the picture for some reason. And so I go to meet Kane Hodder, and I'm having all the Jasons signed next to their character, next to their Jason. And I hadn't gotten to Ted White yet, and I go to Kane Hodder, and I lay the poster down, and he's like, "You want me to sign right there in the middle?" And I'm like, "Oh no, that's Ted White." I'm like, you could probably pick any one of your 4 if you want. They're all kind of around the poster. Just go ahead and just pick any one and sign it. He's like, "You sure you don't want me right there in the middle?" And I'm like, "Dude," I'm like, "that's not you. That's Ted White. Quit being an arrogant prick. I know you think you're the most important Jason in the world because you played him the most, but can we leave that spot open for Ted White, please?" He's like, "I know," and he like almost started to sign his name, like he wouldn't listen to me. And I'm like, dude, no, please. I'm like, that's for Ted White, because that's Ted White. That's not you. And then finally he got pissed off. He's just like, he just kind of shook his head and then just signed it and then just didn't say one more word to me. I'm like, you fucker.
I'm the only Jason that matters. Come on, everybody.
I know. That's basically what he acted like. I'm like, if you were in the middle, I'd have you sign in the middle. I'm like, you're not in the middle, dumbass.
Yeah, I've seen footage of him like I don't know, like calling out like fans and stuff. Like they'll have like a final chapter tattoo, and he's like, "Oh, you got the wrong Jason tattooed on."
Yeah,
like shit like that.
Well, that's what I mean by arrogant. Like he thinks. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, he probably is the most popular Jason. Everybody wants to meet him. He's the most known Jason, I would say. He's definitely not my favorite. My favorite is probably some of the older ones, maybe Richard Brooker or something. But yeah, I mean, that's the way he acts. Like his head has kind of grown over the years.
Arrogant.
And that's what I don't like about him. And it's just kind of irritates me. But yeah, I would say the one that stands out the most though is just the biggest asshole is Tom Savini. Like he didn't say one word to me. I'm sitting here trying. I was kind of new to conventions at the time, so I didn't really know how to act around people like celebrities. And I'm trying to like ask him stupid questions just to whatever. And he's completely ignoring me. He's like talking to the dude that's like there with him. And like I'm trying to ask him questions and he's just completely just blowing me off. And then he did another autograph thing. Like I asked him to sign I had him sign my Friday the 13th part 1 poster. And I wanted him to sign in a certain spot or something. He looks at me and he goes, "Nope, ain't gonna happen. I only sign the knife." I'm like, okay.
I always have some messed up interactions when I ask my questions. And my questions are always related to physical media. So like the first one being John Carpenter that me and Tommy met. You could, if you're in line to meet John Carpenter, one of the most popular horror directors, you got to think of some good questions to ask him.
But he hasn't been asked before.
My question, of course, being a physical media slipcover guy, I go, "Hey, is Halloween coming to 4K?" And he goes, "I don't know." And that was the only thing he said to me.
Oh,
I don't know. And then, with not even like 2 weeks later, Lionsgate announced that first release with the curved slip, which was cool. So I guess if I ask questions, maybe it brings it into existence. I don't know.
No, it's probably like, you fucking liar. You knew it was coming.
And the second one, Rob Schneider, who I was so excited to meet, and I asked him, I'm like, "Hey, is Deuce Bigelow, the Animal, and the Hot Chick ever going to get Blu-ray releases?" And he totally just ignores my question. And he goes, "Big Stan's on Blu-ray." Like, that's not what I asked.
What the fuck is Big Stan, dumbass?
The Benchwarmers is on Blu-ray. Like, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking about Deuce Bigelow specifically. Like, he told me some sad news. He was like, "Oh, Deuce Bigelow kind of disappointed me." He's like, "Disney did the 10-year anniversary DVD and didn't even ask me to do the commentary on it. So I don't know what happened with that." So I kind of felt bad for him there. Like, they didn't even ask him to do like the features.
Speaking of Ted White, I made the poor old guy cry. It was so funny. He finally passed away, but when I met him, he was like fucking 95 years old. And since I was putting together this poster, I knew that there was one Jason I'd never get to have, and that's Richard Brooker, because he had already passed. And so I decided, I came up with this idea. I'm like, all right, well, okay, since I can't get Richard Brooker, I'll have Ted White do something in honor of Richard Brooker, since he kind of took over the role from him, And so I asked, after he signed his, I asked him, I'm like, "Hey, is there any way you could like sign your name also next to Richard Brooker and do kind of something like a rest in peace thing or something?" And this dude started bawling at the table. He started crying, and then all of a sudden he tells me the story how he was with Richard Brooker the night before he died, and how they were really good friends. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like an asshole now. But he was like, basically was like, I'd be honored or whatever. And so he signs it, and he's like crying while he's signing it and like saying, "Rest in peace, Richard Brooker." And I'm like, I felt so bad, but like, yeah, he goes on, he tells me this like 10-minute story about how he was really good friends with Richard Brooker and it just devastated him when he died. And he was with him the night before he died and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm sorry, dude.
And two other convention things that pissed me off. Then I go to meet the killer from Silent Night Deadly Night to get my Scream Factory poster signed. And the one thing I ask him, like, hey, is this movie coming to 4K? And he goes, what's that? I'm like, never mind.
None of them even know this shit. They're just like, 4K, what's that?
Yeah, he's like, what's that? And I'm like, I guess you don't even know what Blu-ray is.
I think it's on VHS.
Yeah. and then with Robert Englund, I just asked one question when he was signing my my 8x10. I'm like, are the Nightmare movies going to get a new box set on Blu-ray or 4K? And it was all silent. He's just signing. And then he looks up at me and goes, next victim. And I'm like, you're just shooing me along. I didn't even answer my question. So that was it. Yeah, he didn't want to answer it.
I was such a nerd when I met him. I must have been like the biggest nerd boy ever. Like, you know, like I'm sure in his time he's seen like 10 billion different Freddy tattoos. And I showed him mine while he's signing my shit. And I'm like, I didn't know what to ask him or anything. I'm just like, hey, what do you think of my tattoo? he's like, oh yeah, it's nice.
That's cool, kid.
Yeah, get out of here.
Please get out on.
Give him my money.
I'll be honest though, he wasn't that bad. He was nice. He rushes you along because he's got 10 billion people in his line, but he was a nice guy.
Tommy, how much money would you spend at a convention if Daniel Stern was at one?
Oh boy. Depends on how much money I have on me.
He's not doing the circuit yet.
It would be cool. I don't know. Maybe I'd probably spend over $100 on him.
Oh yeah.
Well, you want to run off the chat? We're at
Yeah,
2
we'll
hour
catch more
mark.
chat. Get on out of here.
These guys got to get up early.
Yeah, Near Dark's a good one, Chris.
That's a perfect one for Scream Factory. I think.
Absolutely. If that thing got a collector's edition alternate slip, that'd be a big deal. Keenan's released the Possession.
God, how many 4Ks do we need in possession?
Like a few years.
Yeah. Which studio did Formula 51?
Is that the Sam Jackson movie where he's wearing a kilt?
Yeah. I think I just watched that on streaming. I don't have a physical of that. That was an alley recommendation to me a while back, which I did enjoy it. I don't know who put it out in physical media.
I don't either.
Guys, I really love Alexandra. Help me out here.
That's the girl with the magic button and Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Yeah.
I would love to get an autograph of her in Chainsaw 3D. I love her.
Do your thing, cuz.
Do your thing, cuz that girl.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you like that girl, see True Detective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great scene.
She's got amazing eyes.
She's very smart.
She's
Watch
very
True Detective.
highly intelligent.
Yeah, all this is big stance on Blu-ray for the life of it. What's up, buddy? Hooks, you can't talk movies with Carpenter. He talked to me for like 10 minutes about synthwave and video games too.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's old and cranky.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson, yeah. All right, guys. Well, hope y'all have a great weekend. We're gonna get on out of here. Let these old guys get to bed, including myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But always a good time hanging out. Appreciate everybody joining tonight.
Oh yeah.
It's always good to see everybody. But we'll be back soon with another one of these and some other shit coming up. Y'all check out. I actually did a recorded video. Y'all go watch that bitch. It's almost got 400 views.
Yeah. Imagine that. You do a video and
Yeah.
people watch it.
Y'all go check that out whenever I
Crazy.
get this Rocky box set off. I got another Rocky related video I'm working on hopefully this weekend. I keep trying to find time to do it. So I'm going to try to work on that this weekend. But yeah, we'll be back with some more shit here soon. Never know what. We don't never know what.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
So-
Whatever.
Y'all guys have a great weekend. We'll anybody need to talk about anything before we get out of here? Y'all got anything coming up, Tommy? You?
Well, I definitely I'm gonna have a lot of more trip videos and spoof videos coming in the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for that.
Oh, and I saw your video with the TCM set. You got a good deal on that, man. Congrats.
Yeah.
On waiting and it actually working out, because that thing could easily sold out.
I know. I was so happy I couldn't believe they marked it down so far, and I'm so happy to have it. It's just beautiful. I love it.
When y'all do your next video, y'all get together, make it at least an hour and a half long, because me and the wife turn it on after work, whatever, we're eating dinner, and we'll sit there and watch the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
At least hours worth. So, good shit.
Brad's like not even a minute into the video. Craig's already stuffing his face.
It doesn't take but a minute, I'm telling you. And that's how it is in, just general. You go pick up Craig. If you don't bring food, you're going to be stopping for food.
Well,
I get in the car, my side of the car starts fogging up real quick.
The last video when you were here, I'm like, Craig, the first thing we always do is eat. Why don't we do something different? Go to a gym. You're like, all right, let's do it. And then the next scene, we're at Culver's.
Butterburger.
We got some funny stuff planned, so definitely be on the lookout.
You guys would have been proud. It's probably the fattest thing I ever done. I got some chicken wings the other day, and for whatever reason, I wasn't coming to the house, so I sat in the parking lot where I got the chicken wings from, literally right at the front door of a gym. I'm eating chicken wings. And people putting it out of the gym. I never felt better.
The people inside are just looking out, going, "Fuck him."
Well, some of those chicken wings can get pretty heavy, Alan.
Or like when you're home alone, if you're home alone, you order a pizza, and then when they drop it off, you just kind of yell back inside, "Hey, pizza's here!" So they don't think they think you have other people with you. So they're like, "Wait, this whole thing's for you, you fat ass."
All right, guys, we're gonna end this. Like y'all be good. We enjoyed it.
Later.
You're on.